Hi guys, in this video I'll be talking about my game week 19 plans and what I'm thinking about doing ahead of the deadline. But before I go on and speak about game week 19, let me just quickly talk about my game week 18, do a quick review of what my points were like and how it all shaped out. So as you can see, I got 56 points in total. So I'm very happy with that. I can't complain, especially because I used my free hit. So I've got a lot more points than what I would have got if I didn't use my free hit. So I'm very happy with that. I got a decent amount of points from most of my players. I'd probably say the most disappointing one was Dyer, considering I had Mitchell as my second sub. Who would have thought he would also get a clean sheet as well as 2 bonus points. So, I would have loved to have that 8 points rather than two, but as a whole, 56 points. I'm happy with that. I'm still number one in my mini league, and I had green arrows this week, so take the positives rather than the negatives. So we take that on as we move on to game week 19, which is causing me a bit of a headache as I don't really have the best team for this double game week, but this is what my team is looking like ahead of game week 19. I have not made any transfers yet. I've just got some ideas, but I'll be waiting until tomorrow to actually finalize my team. But before I speak about my options and what I'm thinking about for game week 19, I will say that I'm not looking to bench boost or triple captain this game week. I'm not even going to take a wild card. Reason being because I took a free hit game week 18 and I'd rather use that wild card later on, especially as there's going to be another double game week and possibly a blank game week too. So it might be a bit more helpful to save that for later down the season. Triple captain, I don't really want to use a triple captain this week. There's not any player that I would like to use a triple captain on this game week. Possibly Salah, who's in my team already, but Manchester United and Burnley on paper aren't the best fixtures, but who's to say he won't go and outperform. But yeah, I'd rather save that on again for later down the season. And out of all the chips I do have, bench boost is probably the most feasible to use this game week, but I'd have to take a lot of hits to try and get a strong bench this game week. So it's a possibility I could use it. I have 3 out of 4 players on my bench that would get me points, but I think I might just use it later. So for my options and what I'm thinking about ahead of game week 19, I've got 4 different options that I'm thinking about. So my first option is swapping out Steer for Martinez and Calvert-Lewin for Antonio. That would be for a -4, and that would leave me with 0 in the bank. That's not too bad considering I don't have any money in the bank before I make any transfers, so I'm not exactly losing out on anything, but it'd be nice to have some money in the bank. So my second option would be to actually have McCarthy out for Martinez, Calvert-Lewin out for Antonio, and then Walker-Peters out for Stones. And that would lead me to 0.2 mil in the bank, and the positive out of doing that transfer, those 3 transfers, would mean I'd have a City asset in my team. As you can see, I have no City assets. That's probably my biggest drawback in my team this week, but doing those 3 transfers means I get at least 1 City player in my team. Ideally, I would want De Bruyne, but this is what my funds allow me, and especially without having to take too many hits to try and get in certain players. Option 3 would be to take out my Spurs players, so taking out both Kane and Son to try and get De Bruyne in. So doing this option, it would actually allow me to bring in De Bruyne as well as having Salah in my team. So I would downgrade Kane to someone like Brewster, and then upgrading Son to De Bruyne, and then I could take out Calvert-Lewin again for Antonio. That would leave me with 5.1 mil in the bank. It would still mean I'd only have 1 single game week goalkeeper playing, which would be McCarthy. I could obviously upgrade Steer to Martinez because I have a lot of money in the bank, but then that would take 12 points hit to try and do that, and I don't really want to make too many transfers for this game week. I just feel like taking too many, it will hinder you later on. It's not to say that, I can't make those 12 points back, but I might not. So I'd rather just leave it and keep McCarthy and then do those. I could just do those 3 transfers. So that's a possible. That would allow me to have both Salah and De Bruyne in my team. But then that means I have no Spurs players in my team. I might struggle to get them back in later, especially trying getting back Kane especially trying to get Kane back in later into my team. So it's a possibility. It's not one that I'm probably looking at. I'd rather have either De Bruyne or Salah in my team right now. As much as I'd want to have both, I don't think it's best for my team. So my fourth option, which is probably the easiest option out of them all, is just simply downgrading Salah to De Bruyne. That will free up a lot of my funds. Well, not a lot, but some of my funds. And then I would obviously downgrade Albert Lewin to Antonio. And then I could also, for a -8, upgrade Steer to Martinez. And that would leave me with 0.7 in the bank. So that's a possible route. That just means I don't have Salah in this week. The only issue I have with this is swapping Salah for De Bruyne might cost me this game week if De Bruyne doesn't play both games. That is a possibility. You know, Pep did say he was tired in the game against Brighton, and that's why he didn't take the penalty. You know, it might be inclined that he gets a rest in one of the games. So if I did take that hit, it would have just probably made sense to leave Salah in rather than trying to take a hit to get De Bruyne in. So it's a possibility, but it can also cost me if De Bruyne doesn't play both. But we don't know anything as usual. The only thing we know is that Pep likes to rotate, so it could cost me, it could actually benefit me. So I'm gearing towards option 2 and option 4. So the differences between both those options is just I either have De Bruyne or I have Stones in my team. So it's one or the other. So again, just to reiterate, option 2 is McCarthy out for Martinez and DCL out for Antonio, Walker Peters out for Stones. Option 4 is Steer out for Martinez, DCL out for Antonio, and Salah out for De Bruyne. It would free up my funds. Option 4 would give me more funds. It's a difference of 0.5 between the two options, but it's both taking a -8 for them, and I at least have one City asset in my team. So I have, you know, options. I just think I need to decide which one's best for my team and also the long run, because I don't want to be taking hits if I'm not going to be keeping players in the long run. So saying that, I probably would go with option 4 because I don't think I'd want Stones in the long run. He might become a rotation risk, as he was earlier on the season. He didn't play. So yeah, this is what my team ideas are so far, and I'll update you once I've made my final team, which I'll be doing tomorrow before the deadline. Thank you for watching. Ciao.